So again I ask you, if you truly tell me that you love yourself, do you think going out round, going shopping or sightseeing and doing all the things that you think are going to make you happy, attaching yourself to things and trying to acquire those things is the way to show that love towards yourself? I ask you this question. If you want to show love to yourself, do you think the right way to go about that is to go getting all the things you love, all the things you want, and all the things you like? But that's what we have been indoctrinated to do. That's what we have been conditioned to do. We think that that is the secret to happiness. That is the way that we love ourselves. That is what we have learned. I'm trying to show you the flaw in that. That's why you're never happy. How can you? Because you always sacrifice your happiness for a mere object. You know what people do day in, day out? They are born happy. Okay, we're all born happy. But here's what we do throughout our lives. We give away bits of our happiness in exchange for material things, so that we can claim to be in possession of something. Either something or someone. We give away bits of our happiness. And you keep doing that for the best part of your life, and then by the time you get to 60s, 70s, 80s, when it's the last few years of your life, then you begin to wonder, where is my happiness? Where's the happiness that I was born with? That's why when you have, on a Poya day, you go to any temple, what do you see? Grandfathers and grandmothers. Why are they now at the temple? Because what have they been doing all their lives? They were born happy, and then they were given away all their happiness in exchange for property, for wealth, right, for material possessions, for children, for grandchildren, great-grandchildren, husbands, wives, and all these things. In the end, they have a lot, but they have lost everything. Isn't this the story of your lives? See, today, don't you have a lot? Just take a moment to think about all the things you have. You might actually feel, yeah, my goodness, I never realized I had so much. If you just take a moment to think about all the things you have, right? You have a house. Pretty much all of you will have a house. Then you'll have maybe another house. Then you have a holiday home. Right? Maybe you have a boat somewhere. Maybe you have a yacht. Maybe you have a jet. Maybe you have 200 acres of coconut land. Maybe you have 500 acres of rubber land. Maybe you have another 1,000 acres in somewhere else. 1,000 acres, that's a lot. Whatever you have. Maybe you have 10 cars parked outside. You have a big garage. Maybe you have a swimming pool at home. You have a tennis court. You have a big family. You have a house that most people would consider a hotel. Perhaps. You have a lot. Open your fridge. What's in there? A lot of stuff. Mentally walk into your kitchen. What do you have? A lot of stuff. Your living room, full of stuff. You are the envy of most people because you have a lot of stuff. A lot of material possessions, a lot of immaterial possessions, in any case, possessions. But in the end, these are all things that have actually chipped away at your happiness one at a time. Today you have become someone who has a lot, but don't have the very thing you came into this world looking for. Now that is a real pity. That's why I say, ladies and gentlemen, we need to learn to love ourselves better. We've forgotten, we've unlearned somehow the truth about how to truly love ourselves. If you are someone who loves yourself, then I need to see you working on chipping away at attachment. That's when I will believe that you are someone who loves yourself. Because attachment is the demon that takes away your happiness every single time. Feeding your attachment is not the answer. But you watch TV, what do they tell you? Here's the next best thing that you have to buy. Right? All TV adverts will tell you what else you need in your life, don't they? You take a stroll down the street, there are billboards that tell you the next thing that you need in your life. They somehow paint a picture whereby your life is not complete without them. That's good marketing for you, good advertising. But you fall for that. And then you think, to be happy, I have to have these things in my life. One of these days when you get back home, just have a browse around home and then make a list of the things that you never really wanted, but in the end you got them anyway. Because someone said your life was not complete until you had them. You'll have a long list. How many cars can you drive at once? Should I repeat myself? How many cars can you drive at once? Okay, so how many cars do you need then? How many bedrooms can you use at once? How many beds can you sleep in at once? How many bedrooms do you need then? How many beds do you need then? How many washrooms can you use at once? Sometimes some homes have more bedrooms and more washrooms than the number of people at home. Whenever I see houses like that, I go sadhu sadhu. I've shared this with you before. Because I rejoice the fact that people have given and therefore today they get. I rejoice in that. I really cherish that. To see how successful people have become, how prosperous people are, how wealthy people are. That money doesn't need to be in my pocket. As long as, when I see a rich man, I really rejoice in that. Because I know that the only way to get is to give. That much I know. So therefore, when I see a rich person, I really rejoice in that. I want all of us to be like that, because that is a rich man's mindset. A poor man's mindset is always being jealous about people who have things. That is why they're always poor. Because they have a very poor man's mindset, so therefore they don't have the power of attraction. Nothing comes to them. Because they don't have a giving mindset. They don't rejoice in giving. So the first thing you want to do, if you want to be someone who has, is to appreciate having. Enjoy, rejoice in it when we see that people have things. But I give a sadhukara, and then on the other hand, I think to myself, I really hope that man is not attached to all those things. Because having is one, being attached is another thing. I really hope that man is not attached to them. Because what does attachment bring you? Suffering. This is why I keep emphasizing the fact, ladies and gentlemen, your task in the Buddha Sasana is not about giving up your material possessions physically. Keep them. Keep all of them. If you need more, acquire more. That's perfectly fine. You just need to learn to give up mentally. Because we are here to deal with mental agony, mental pain, mental fear, mental suffering. Your mental pain, your mental suffering has nothing to do with what you're physically holding on to. So if you have 3 cars, then you have 3 cars, that's okay. But I ask you, if you're attached to not 3 cars but half a car, you'll still suffer. You'll still suffer. But the thing is this though, if you have 3 cars, then you have to look after those 3 cars. You have to take care of them. You have to keep it safe. You have to pay the bills. You have to repair them. You have to get them serviced. All this work, the extra work that comes with having 3 cars, it comes to you. If you have a big house and you have to clean the house, you have to sweep the house, you have to remove the cobwebs, you have to maintain your house. Yes, you can say, well, I don't have to do that, Swaminatha, because I have a maid who comes down and does all that for me. Well, you have to pay her. And then you have to make sure that she doesn't get up to no good while she's on duty. So then you have to install CCTV cameras to watch her every move. You can't delegate fear. You can delegate the work, not fear. When your mother dies, can you delegate crying and grieving to someone else? A loved one dies, can you delegate grieving to someone else? No, you can't do that. Because suffering is where attachment is. Wherever there is attachment, there suffering lies. So if that's where suffering lies, then you can't delegate suffering. You can delegate a task, you can delegate a responsibility, you can delegate an activity, but you can't delegate suffering. Suffering is yours if attachment is yours.